All right, guys, we're live. And Martin, hi, nice to see you on the live chat. So as you can see, I'm streaming from home today, so I'm testing a new setup. So welcome to my home. And today I have pretty good news. So for those of you who know, I celebrated my birthday yesterday, and my wife, she created this beautiful ATJ Traders mug, so I got it as a birthday present. So this is one of my favorite cups right now, and yeah, so great. I'm 28 now, and yeah, so I think last time we were doing some double tops and some double bottoms. So we've created some trading bot that is able to identify that. And currently, if we look at our live trading account, we still have our Bitcoin trade open. It is plus 214, like minus the swaps, it's 186 and plus. So we had some minor replacement. Great cup, yeah, it's a really great cup. So yeah, so right now we're in a retracement period, but we'll see. Hopefully, it's just a small retracement, and we still have 1 week to go before we are closing our Bitcoin trade. So far, we are slightly in profit this month, and yeah, hopefully, yeah, we'll we'll see, the end of this retracement. In the meantime, let's continue with trading our price action trading bot. And I think, I took, some time off over the weekend during my birthday. I was thinking, how to improve the strategy that we have. So maybe we can open some recent backtests from my past streams and see, what we have at the moment. So here we have some old files with the price action patterns, and yeah, so what this script is doing is it is able to extract OHLC data and then find some support and resistances using double top and double bottom identification. For example, here, right, you can see a breakout where we could potentially find a short opportunity. And so I was thinking that why am I just looking for double tops and double bottoms, right? Because oftentimes I feel like that the amount of double tops and bottoms is not big enough or significant enough. So maybe instead of doing that, maybe we should also try to look, some other methods to see, what we can find. And I was thinking that what let me just try to paint an example what we have. So no double top is right. You have like price coming up here and then up here, and then you have two highs here, and then maybe potential the second high, like this is the breakout. This is what we're trying to trade, and we are able to do that. But for some reason, uh, based on the backtest and when I was writing the code, I don't feel like that this is the only setup that we should be looking for. So instead, uh, what I'm trying to do is just go back to some old strategy logic, and instead of just looking for double top, maybe we are going to look just at normal highs, right? And maybe look, so for some simple price ranges where we have just like one touch, and then maybe try to trade a breakout at the first breakout. So maybe yeah, create a more simpler strategy, because when I was doing the backtests and try to find out double tops, the amount of double tops throughout the year, I was doing it on the hourly time frame, wasn't that, you know there were many cases. But with our DE40 breakout trading bot that we have somewhere here, right, it's actually here when we did a start of the month. I feel like that this strategy has much more potential, right? Because we have many more breakouts, we have the relative candle sizes, it's much simpler. And yeah, after thinking a lot, I think I would like to proceed more or less with this strategy. And of course, we have the training bot ready, so let's just prepare that. Okay, so yeah, this is my current idea. And also, I was working with indicators on MT5. So in my free time, like I only code in Python, but recently I was trying to develop an indicator in MetaTrader 5, where we can, identify these price action patterns. So this is also, a part of project that I'm planning to work with, maybe even today. So instead of having a web dashboard, right? So everything we do is created like in a Jupyter notebook and yeah, in Python. So what if I made like a price action recognition server or like a script that would also draw all of our supports and resistances on the MetaTrader 5 chart, and I think that would be amazing. So let's say we would have a very simple bot that would, for example, update, some horizontal charts on this chart, and maybe for me it's time also to like learn MQL5, how to create an object MQL5. So for me, and because I'm newbie at that, maybe you guys can help me with that. So this is currently in progress. So uh, now that we are close to the end of the month, I suggest that what I can do is I can create a sheet where we can write down the project so everyone who joins the stream can see what I'm actually working on. So just give me a moment to open the spreadsheet, and then I'm going to share it with you guys. So I'm just going to open my Google Drive. This Google Drive, yeah, will be publicly available, so all of you guys can check it out later. Okay, and so here it is. All right, so here we're going to do a price action trading bot project. And here I'm going to write down a to-do list, so everyone who has access to this link can basically join and view the file with me. Okay, so this is the current, so I'm also going to copy that here. And so the description of this project, and maybe I will zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a bit more. So for a current price action trading bot project, let's actually start with the first thing. Let's take our DE40 trading breakout bot. So we are going to define the strategy first, because there are a lot of price action strategies. So defining the strategy. Let me just write it like this. The strategy is our DE40 breakout trading. And to explain how this strategy works is we can go back to our DE40 breakout bot. And what it is doing, by the way, this is the PNL of the breakout trading bot with the backtest that we have made. So how does the strategy work? So the strategy works by taking the previous day's high and low, and then we are computing the breakout of that level. So let me visualize the breakout so we can have a look at the individual trades, so I can show it on an example. Kamaluddin Ibrahimov, hello. Yeah, welcome to the stream. I think it's the first time you sent a message on the stream, so it's nice to have you here. Okay, this is another strategy that I was working on, but here this is what I need. So I need to take the backtest figure, and on this strategy, what I also did is compute some indicators. And the indicators that I was using is, oh, this is the previous session low and the previous session high. So here I will need the previous session low and the previous session high. So using session lows and session highs, so I'm actually going into like again simpler strategies. So let's have a look. So right now running the backtest, I'm exporting data from MetaTrader 5. I'm running on DE40 and testing the strategy again with trying to visualize all the trades that I have performed. So right now the backtest is running, the trades are being generated, and after that we're going to see the trades that have been generated. Here we have the P&L chart, and hopefully here we can find the trades. So for example, what we see here is here we can see actually a very nice trade, and this one's actually very nice. So what you see here, let me zoom in even closer to explain what the strategy does. Here we have the previous session high, right? So here this is November 13th, 2023. On this trading session, we have made a high right here, or actually, sorry, on November 13th, the high was actually here. So we take this high value and we project it onto the next trading day, right? So here, during the next trading day, we're waiting for a breakout of this high, and here we have the breakout candle. So basically this level acts as a resistance, and at this breakout we entered into a long position. And then based on some various strategy logic, I think in this case we're holding until the end of the trading session, which is 16:45. We are holding this trade until 16:45, and here this is where we have closed the trade. So of course this breakout trade wasn't that clean because we retraced back again, but this is an example of how the strategy works. All right, and thank you, Martin. As he said, you can find everything I have here in my GitHub repository, so I think I can quickly share that. Or actually, just check my description. In the description, I'm going to show you. 1 second. Oh yeah, here it is. So I'm going to share this real quick. Ah, here it is. So yeah, it's me again. It's me inside me. Just follow the link to free trading apps called repository, right? So you go to Trading Labs, and here you will also find the link to the GitHub repository. So you will find everything, yeah, on my website, including all other applications. All right. So this is the idea of the strategy. So let's go back. So this is the DE4 breakout trading strategy, and what we need to do is we already have the trading bot ready, right? So number one, backtest is done, right? The trading bot that we've coded is also done. So all of that is done and has been like backtested and deployed a few weeks ago. So I can mark this green, and now, oh, let's do dark green. And now the third thing that is missing and that we're planning to do is that I want to create an MT5 indicator that will define the previous session high and low that we can use for the breakout trades. And that project, yeah, is also something that you could use for manual trading. So for example, let's go back to DE40 if we want to trade the German stock index. And I'm not just trying DE40, right? But this is, the strategy that I've tested on the German stock index because, where I used to work, this symbol used to be very popular. I also used to study in Germany, so, I was a bit interested in the German market. But now I like to wake up a bit later, so now I'm more focused on the American market. So personally, I also have a momentum strategy on the US tech, right? So I also trade the Nasdaq. So I have momentum strategies developed on that. Right, let me just get some water real quick. Is it possible to use a robot written Python to simulate MetaTrader 5? Yes, absolutely. So what I actually do is all my robots, what they do is they do trade with MetaTrader 5. And so all the trading bots, so if you check my IDE, and for example here you will find a D4 trading breakout bot here. This trading bot is fully written Python, but it sends the execution to MetaTrader 5. So basically, this Python script is sending orders to the MT5 platform, and all of that, I've done some documentation on that, and I do recommend one of my early contents. And yeah, I know it needs to be updated, but one of my most popular videos on MT5, I can share that with you here. You should check that out. So if you want to use Python to trade on MetaTrader 5, this is the video that you can check out. And yeah, this is probably my most favorite video of all time, almost 100k views. And yeah, I wrote this 3 years ago, and a new update is coming soon. Okay, so yeah, we wanted to create like an MD5 indicator, and this indicator will be quite interesting. So maybe we can do some planning. So will do some some general IT planning. What is this app called to draw some IT infrastructure? Google drawing tool. Maybe I'll find something. Uh, It's Lucid Charts. Yeah, I think it's called Lucid Charts. I used to work with it a lot when I, was working in a company. I used to use Lucid Chart to, show IT diagrams. So I'm actually also going to do that, and we're going to draw, something very interesting together. So first, I'm just going to sign in with my company account, and then we're going to do some technical planning with our trading bot. Oh, and I see that Lucid Charts kind of has a new layout. I haven't used it in a while, so let's close that. I think I'm just going to start with a fresh new file, blank document, and so here we have this chart. So what we're going to do is we're going to, oh, 1 second. What's my role? I'm a trader. I guess I'll just write IT. What best describes you? Maybe like individual contributor, something like that. I'm proficient. Okay, I can skip this one, and I'm going to do some flow charts, I guess. Okay, so what is today's plan? So today's plan is to create a strategy, right, on DE40 breakout trading bot that is backtested, so we know that we have some trading edge, or at least historically the bot hasn't performing well. We have written that in Python, so we can just enable that. And now we want to create an MT5 indicator that you guys can also use, and so we have a full overview of what's going on in the chart using that indicator. And so here I'm going to create a box. So we are going to create a Python server, Python, or we are going to create like a price action analysis server that is written in Python. So this server, what it does is it will consume, maybe I will zoom in a bit more. Yeah, actually, or let me just make it bigger. So this is our price action analysis server. I'm going to increase the font maybe to 18. And this server will communicate with MT5 like that. So this is our MetaTrader 5 platform, this thing right here. So what is the font? This is 18 points. This is also 18 points. So now what we can do is we will need historical OHLC data. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that we will need to write a script that will send open high low close data from MT5 into our Python server. So we will code it probably in this section here. And then what will the price action analysis return? It will return our price action zones, or it will return the indicators that we need. So here we are returning, maybe I can just try to copy that and put it down. It will return price action analysis to our MATLAB 5. And inside this MATLAB 5, we are going to then create indicators. Here we will generate price action indicators inside this server here. So this is our current project, and so we will need two programming languages because MT5 it works using MQL5. So MQL5 is a programming language designed for MetaTrader 5, and we will need to code some expert advisor that is able to export the data. So for example, expert advisor, if you look at this, right, the code looks something like this. And I am a complete noob with MQL5. So I will say it ahead of time because you guys will see me struggle. And MQL5, you can find MQL5 here. So here you can find the market, trading bots, and here they have the documentation where you can write trading bots, indicators, and so on. So I'll be working with this. And then I will also work with the price action analysis, which is the easier part because I'm very proficient with Jupyter notebooks and data visualization. So once I'm able to retrieve the data, I can just perform some very simple calculation and return that data to MQL5 to do that. And at the end of the session, you guys will actually benefit from that because this indicator will be useful for available for everyone to use. So I will share the code to the MT5 indicator, and you guys can then just connect it to your own MT5, for example, and it will then provide a price action analysis, and it will run on a publicly hosted server. So you just connect the MetaTrader 5. It will communicate with the server I'm going to use. Most likely, I will put it on Trading Labs. So yeah, I will put it on Trading Labs, and then it will always return some kind of analysis for your MetaTrader 5. And I think that is yeah, today's plan. And after that, of course, you can use that indicator to either trade manually or you can use it to trade automatically. That's up to you. Of course, I like to trade automatically. That's what I've always done. But I think it's also nice when you guys also see some value in the work. And so let's pretend I am like the robot. I'm the indicator. So hello, please analyze this chart here. So this chart with us, okay, MT5, send the data somewhere outside to a remote server. Send it, to Trading Labs. Then Trading Labs will crunch the numbers, return the indicators to MT5, and then after the end of that, it will draw, oh, for example, this is some high, right? Or yeah, this is some low. And maybe, oh, it may also like try to identify some channels, right? So it will draw all of these things automatically. And that, I think, would provide some great value. So channels, support, resistances, yeah, maybe identification of breakouts, reversals, and maybe simple candlestick patterns. All of that, yeah, will be part of this project, and yeah, will be the core of our trading strategies. Okay, so now we should start with MQL5, the most difficult part, and Noob on the Grind said hello. Yeah, hello, welcome to the stream. Isaac, I've been looking for a channel for a while. Glad I found it. Yeah, thank you very much for your comments, guys, and welcome to the stream. So I wonder how many of you guys can code. And yeah, the reason why I'm doing this today, what I'm showing you right now, is that I want to provide some type of solution where you don't have to install Python, right? Where you can just connect MT5, you download some type of indicator, and then it would automatically work for you guys without any like programming knowledge. And I think that would, provide much more value. So this is the reason why I'm doing that. Pardon. Um, okay, so now let me create a new file in the MetaTrader editor, and here I'm going to create an expert advisor, and here I'm going to call the expert price or PA, which stands for price action recognition. Yeah, let's call it price action recognition. I'm just going to provide the name of the company. So here I'm going to add my name, and yeah, this is my company, and I'm also going to provide my website. So it's atjtraders.com. Okay, so now we have this ready, and I think I'm going to create an on timer function, and so I'm going to go into that. Like I know at least on the like from the higher level what everything is being done, so I can explain one by one what I'm doing. But still, again, I am not very good at MQ5. So on init, what it does is when we run our expert advisor, this code block is going to run on the initialization, right? So it will start the EA and then do something. So here I also set the timer. So when I run on timer, this is basically the refresh interval. So the refresh interval is the period, how often the expert advisor is going to refresh. And when you look at my code, when I write training bots in Python, uh, that code I also use basically on timer. So with my D4 breakout training bot, when I run the strategy loop in Python, you see a while loop, right? I write a while loop and I sleep one. So the string bot is always checking the strategy signals every second. And basically on timer is doing the same. So it's basically like a loop, while loop where you set the event set timer and it will run this over and over again. On tick instead, whenever we get a new price on the symbol, then on tick, we'll call this function, and like whenever we get new price, it just checks for some new strategy logic. Mr. Lunary, I love your channel and the work that you are doing, man. Really appreciate you putting your time and energy into this and then streaming for the rest of us. Yeah, thank you very much for a comment, and yeah, my pleasure. Okay, so I think I won't need on tick because I will just use the on timer function for now. So let me remove that. And for my timer, let's say I'm just going to refresh the training bot every 1 second. And so now I have the event set timer set to 1. So what if I just do print statement, and in print I'm just going to print the current time. So here we do time current, and I think I need to convert that to time to string. So it's very complicated even for me, but I was working with it a little bit. And of course, this is not Python. We need to add a semicolon at the end, and then we need to compile. No errors. So now if we open our platform and then we look at expert advisors, we have a PA recognition expert advisor that we can add to the chart. So now if I just press OK, and here we see in the corner, in this corner right here, that our trading bot is running. It's trading bot because right now it's not doing anything. But if you go to the experts tab, it is currently printing the current time, as you can see, every second. Okay, so now we can remove this. So whenever you want, to check the print statements, you just go to experts tab, and then yeah, you can check if the trading bot is working. And I think I'm just going to increase the set timer to 5 to update every 5 seconds so I don't get any spam. And yeah, so this is the first part of of running string bots. So the second part is, let's say we want to create a trading bot, right, that is able to maybe identify recent highs and recent lows as an indicator, right? So what the trading bot will need is it will need to create objects on the chart, so create horizontal lines. And in MQL5 there is something called object create. MQL5, here's the object create function, and just to play around with it, I think I will create a horizontal line, right? So let's have a look at various objects that we can create in MQL5. And here we have the objects. So we have vertical lines, horizontal lines, trend lines. What else do we have? Yeah, we have Fibonacci and then some icons. So there is a lot of things that we can draw on the chart, which is great. So, I was trying to do that in Python, and I have some apps that I've made. If we could, for example, an account dashboard or some, backtest simulators. So if I run some of the backtests, okay, I don't have this. Bollinger backtest. Okay, let me just show an example. So I was able to, create something like that, where you have, the indicators, the lines, and so on. So you are able to draw all these indicators, but the thing is, me as an algorithmic trader, I'm fine with that, right? I can have this dashboard and it's amazing. But when you work with MT5, I felt like, okay, how about we, show all of the data here in MT5 as well, right? So all of the lines and so on, all the nice graphical thingies will be actually integrated into a platform. So people who just want to trade on MT5 and don't want, to have a dashboard, I think for those people that would be more valuable. So this is basically just a backtest simulator, but you can also apply it on a live trading dashboard. So that's why I am now working on this project. So let us try to create a horizontal line on the MetaTrader 5 chart. And to create an object on the MetaTrader 5 chart, we need to just call the object create function, and somewhere down here I can just try to copy the code. As you can see, like compared to Python, there's so much thing to read. Like there's like so much code, and so here I can see that they create like a function that can move the horizontal line, delete the horizontal line. So let's go back to MQL5 object create. By the way, if you want to check out this guy, MT5 tutorial, this is the guy I've been learning from. Just, you know, some other YouTube guy that you can learn from. But, you know, sometimes I just look for every single line of code, you know, where I need help. And at this point, I'm reading more of the documentation rather than coding lately. So yeah, even I have a lot of things to learn, especially with the MQL5. So we have object create. So object create is basically just a function that returns a Boolean value, and we need to provide the chart ID. So which chart should it be put on? The name of the object, the type of the object. So here we want to create a horizontal line, and then, you know, some parameters for the line. So I'm actually going to call this object, copy this object create function, and here I'm going to define, maybe in the init section, or actually I can do like a global statement. So uh, 1 second. I can do like object result or object res. This is a Boolean value, so I can, yeah. In MQL5, you need to declare the variables first, if I'm not mistaken, and then I will call the function object create. So our object res is equal to, so we assign the return value of object create, and inside object create, let's split the screen so we can find exactly what we need. So in object create, we need a chart ID, and now again I need to look into documentation again. MQL5 get current chart ID. So I want to create the object on the chart that we are currently working with, and it is chart ID. So I'm calling chart ID. Next thing, I need the string object name. So this is the name of the object, and I'm going to call this horizontal line 1. This is the name of my object. And then this is the object type. This is some enum, and enum basically gives us a list of objects that I can use. And if we look at object types, right, this is the enum object, and I can choose v-line, horizontal line, trend line, and all of that. Juan, hello. I didn't expect MQ5 coding session. Cool. Yeah, I didn't expect either. In my opinion, or personally, I just like to code in Python, because when you're so good at something, right, you just specialize in one thing, and then eventually you just, you know, give up on everything else. Because for the past 5 years, I've been coding. I was always able to solve everything Python, but then at the expense of, you know, you stop learning other things. And I was thinking, okay, why not combine Python to do the, you know, price action analysis and everything else, and actually use MQL5 to create indicators to, you know, take over the execution of trades, because MQL5 is much more faster, much more efficient than Python, of course. So this is the reason why I'm actually doing that. And guys, those who came late, you know, to the stream, I have, you know, shared some, you know, of my current project that I'm currently working on, right? So I'm actually separating two things. So what we have here is we are using Python to do the signal generation, to do the price analysis, to basically do anything with backtesting, analysis, you know, quantitative, whatever. And using MT5 or MQL5 to take over the indicators, the drawing, and also like the execution of the trades, because that, in my opinion, is like using the best of programming language to do what it's actually designed for. So yeah, it's also time for me to learn something new, and at least while I learn, you guys can also see how I learn the things. Hopefully, I won't get stuck too long. But if any of you guys are somewhat proficient in MQL5, I appreciate any type of help. But I think it shouldn't take too long, right? So all we're doing is we're trying to export uh, candlestick data from MT5 to our Python server. Python server return the price action analysis, and then we will generate price action indicators. And then once the indicators are done, we can, for example, also code a trading bot that will trade based on these indicators. Okay, so let's get back to object create. So this is, so the type is, what was the type again? OBJ H line. So as you can see, this enum is already like a prepared object in MQL5. So it already knows what I'm working with. But the thing is, I don't know what sub window means. It is the window index. Number of the chart sub window. 0 means the main chart window. The specified sub window must exist, otherwise the function returns false. Oh. 0 means the current chart. Okay, let me just add 0 and see what it does. And here chart identifier 0 means current chart. Okay, let's just try 0. If something happens, then yeah, hopefully it will work. So the next parameter for our horizontal line is we need the time coordinate of the first anchor. So when should the horizontal line be drawn? And I think if we do the horizontal line here, and here we do to the properties, this is the horizontal value. So this is actually interesting because horizontal values don't need a time value, if I'm correct. So maybe we should go to enum and go to hline, and this hline it is called an object create. I already hate MQL5, but eventually we'll get there. Sometimes I remember times when I was learning Python. Even Python was difficult at that time, right? Because I had almost zero programming experience. Peter Turino, hello, Brazil here. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Nice to have you here, guys. And that's the exact reason I always stick with Python, because I never wanted to learn anything new. So, I mean, I used to code in MQL4. That was easy. But MQL4 compared to MQL5 is so much different. And, then I decided, okay, let's just stick with Python. Okay, so yeah, let's not complain too much and just focus. And eventually, yeah, we'll be fine. Thank you for a promotion, Martin. Don't forget to like, guys. Any support is appreciated. Okay, So I think I can actually skip the other value, which is the time value of object create. Where is it? No, this is. Or actually, yeah, I think the easiest thing to do is actually just copy the code. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Maybe I should just copy and see what it will do. So let me just copy, some of the settings that I will need to create a horizontal line. So here, what you can see is we are defining uh, the input parameters for the horizontal line for my expert advisor. And here we can also create like these inputs prior. So here's so actually I don't need to create input, but here I see that in MQL5 there is already a function that will create a line. So I think I should copy that. And here they also have the code that I need for this. So it is hline create. I'm also going to copy the comments and let's see what it does. Yeah, I think that's the easiest way to proceed with this. So this is a function, hline create. So hline needs the chart ID, a name, a subwindow, a price, a color, the style of the line, width of the line. Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is the background. This is a selection. If it's selected, uh, hidden the object list. Okay. And this is the priority for a mouse click. Okay, I see. So here, these are the default settings to create the horizontal line, hline create, and the output of this is basically true or false. Okay, I get it. So what happens if I just call this hline create? So here I have a Boolean object result. This is the result of my object create. So hline create is this thing here, and there is already a default value. So let me just compile this and then run the expert advisor and see if something will happen. So I'm just going to delete all my objects. So let's delete everything. And now let's go to advisors and go to PA recognition. Okay. Okay, we can see that a line has been created, hopefully. Yeah. So if we go to the properties of hline, maybe it's a line that already existed. I'm not sure. Okay, I think what I need to do is, let me just add the print statements at the end. It is possible that object result returns nothing. So I will print object create result, and then I'm going to add I need to convert this boolean to string. I think MQL5 doesn't have, let's see, MQL5 boolean to string. Hi Vinicius, nice to have you on the stream as well. Today we're doing some MQL5 coding to create some price action indicator in MetaTrader 5. So this is currently what I'm working working at, so you guys can also use that indicator. And I am struggling right now, but I manage. So I guess what we can do is, so this is a boolean and we're printing. Maybe I can just try to print it. If there's any error. Okay, and a semicolon, of course, as usual. Okay, implicit conversion from boolean to string. Okay, it seems that it's working. By the way, in Python, everything is implicit, so I don't really care. So object create result is true. It seems like that something is happening. Okay, every time delete, a new line is being created. Okay, and it's being shifted. And I think this is amazing. So it is actually working. So that is great. And I just need to check because I feel, oh yeah. So every 5 seconds, our on timer function is running. So that is why it takes 5 seconds. So everything is great. So our horizontal line is being created. And then if I need to create like a new value, this object, this, what is it? This function hline create that I copied on kill5 is simply doing that. So pretty good. Okay, that was a bit stressful just to create a line. Not gonna lie. So now I need the second line. So one line will be our support level and the second line will be our resistance level. So let's start with a very simple script that will just analyze set two levels. So so in our price action, where are we? I'm getting lost. So here we are. So I'm going to create a second function actually. So here, I think every object has something like a unique name. So if I create a second line with a different name, then maybe I am able to create two lines. And so currently, yeah, I'm on DD40. So let me create a line that's maybe 20 points above and 20 points below. 1 second. Klidně můžeš vat, jestli chceš, it's fine. Right. I was just talking to my wife. It's kind of late already, so I told her, if she's hungry, she can just eat. This is the first time, no, or like the second time streaming at home, and the first time streaming at home, I was a bit nervous, but now I guess people can just do what they want in my living room, so I really don't care right now. As long as you guys don't care, but I assume that you guys are fine with that. Streaming at home is a bit more like less stressful than the office because in the office I have to do other things as well. But when I'm at home, I can just focus on one thing, right? And I can also like take my time working on MKL5. And there's like no rush, right? There's no rush. Usually when you learn something, it takes hours and hours. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna spend hours and hours studying MKL5 until I become a pro. But I assume that's gonna take a long time. Okay, so as I've mentioned, we can try to create a second object. And like in Python, you can use something called keyword arguments. If you just provide, the name and then provide you know, the value of that name. I don't think that works. That works in MQL5. I can try it. Like I can create an object called line1, and then I can try to create a second object called line2, and I assume that this will not work, and it does not work. So first of all, I need to declare the two new variables, and as you can see, name undeclared identifier, right? And so what that means is I have to add in, all of these values one by one to create that. So that is very unfortunate, but let's just do that. So another reason why Python is better, but we don't have any options. So first one is 0, second value is line 1, next value is window is equal to 0. What price? So here the price level is set at 0. 0 maybe signifies current price. So the line price is the current price. So I would have to do mql5 get current price. How to get current bid and ask price? So mql take latest price. Okay, so I can just call symbol info tick for the current symbol and add in the latest price and just take that value. And there's also this other method, mql rates, so I can also get the current candle rate. So yeah, I'll have to use that. Okay, I guess I'm just going to copy this. And here in the onTimer function, so I'm declaring latest price, which is an MQL tick object. Then I'm getting the current tick for a current symbol, and I'm assigning that to latest price, or what do they actually say? But some other people, maybe the better thing to do is maybe don't go to forums. Sometimes it's easier to just check the documentation, which is what I'm gonna do. So MQL5 reference. What do we have? Trade signals. Yeah, this is my favorite one. Everything's easier here. Market info maybe. So there is symbol, info tick, and so what do they have here? Okay, so I have to declare an array with MQL tick structure. Okay, so this is what they're doing here, and then they're calling symbol info tick right here, and then to extract the data, they want to get the tick. 0. Okay, so basically they're creating an array and then they're saving the value into that array at the first place. So I'm going to actually use that. So yeah, the reference seems to be easier than going to a forum because here they have exact and correct code examples. And so we go back to the IDE and so we're going to call MQL tick. Oh, we go up here. Okay. So this is MQL tick. And then the next thing is we have to call symbol info tick and assign the value to this one. This is a very interesting way to actually work with it. So here the symbol name that we're using, let me just split the screens again. The symbol name is, here it's define 0USD, but I'm going to call symbol and that will return the symbol for the current chart. And I want to get the bid price. I think symbol info double might be better because it will return a single value and that would return the bid price. Oh, so actually I can even simplify that. I'm learning something new. So double bid is equal to symbol info double, and we need the bid price like that. And now I think we can take this value and we can take the bid price plus, and I said I want to have it 20 points above, and here I can have it 20 points below. Hopefully that will work. And now that I have declared the price, I think I don't need to declare the rest because I just need to provide value for the first initial values in sequence, and after that I can leave the rest of the parameters and the default might be taken. Okay, so now I can try to compile that, hopefully no error, and of course I made an error. We are printing so object 1 create a result, object 2 create a result. Now we have object number 2, and now we compile this. Now let's look at our expert advisor and then we restart our script. So now we have object 1 create true and object 2 create true. So we see that it is working. So now our lines are moving exactly 20 points above and below the current market price. So I'm actually very happy with that. And that didn't take too much time, but this is great. Yeah, we should get a testing account because this is currently my live account. I'll get the demo account later. I still haven't finished like my live trading dashboard, right? Because it's still communicating with that. So I'm planning to put this on the server, and you guys, who see the floating P&L and MTD profit, you guys can check it out. Can still see that, but right now, yeah, my script that is, computing. It's basically just a web server, right? It's connected to MT5. Yeah, I call it ATJ internal project. So here I'm doing some internal analysis just for myself. So here you see, the profits on that account. It's connected to MT5, and then I have my trading view widget here, right? So it's taking data from trading view, and you can just see, the current market prices. So this is basically how I've designed, the entire layout here. Okay, so now that we have the ability to create two horizontal lines, now what we need to do is we need to create a solution that is able to feed our historical data uh, to our Python server, right? So it will, for example, send a number of candles, and then the Python server will return the analysis for the current period. And before I start doing like some advanced price action analysis, we're going to just try to do like this communication channel between Python and MetaTrader 5. So yeah, based on this illustration here. So in order to do that, I'm going to use MQL5 web request, right? So we're going to create a web server in Python, and this web server will accept the OHLC data through HTTP requests on MQL5. So maybe what we do now is let's take a break from MQL5 and go to our PyCharm ID to code in Python, right? So here I'm just going to explain to you how to create a web server. So here I'm going to create a new project for today, and this new project will basically be a PA analysis server. So it is a web server written Python where we will consume OHLC data and it will output some analysis. So here I'm going to create a file app, and we're going to work with Flask. So from Flask import Flask. And now let's create our application by calling Flask name, and here we can create a simple route. So app.route, and here we define home. So this will be our home page, and return home page. Pardon. So if name is equal to main, app.run, and let's run it on port 5005, for example. So I'm going to run this app. So what I've done is I've created a web server that is returning homepage. Okay, so this is a website, and so this web server, what it can do is it it should have the ability, to accept web API requests from our MQL5 trading bot, right? So our trading bot will send data to this web server, and then it will return something. So let's say I'm going to create a route. So app.route, and I'm going to call this route, now it's just an example, but let's say get high low. So we are going to get the highs and lows for a certain data set. Okay, and so now we define basically get high low, and here we will have, or we don't have to do it here. Now I have to open some Flask documentation. flash get array parameters, request.args get list, or actually flash get request parameters. And here we have the parameters. And I'm going to show you a very quick example what it is doing. So here, so our data or our parameters, when we call this function, uh, request.args.get. Request.args.get, and I will want some OHLC data. So here I'm going to send the OHLC data. I'm going to create a Jupyter notebook file where I'm going to do some example requests. So request test. So here I'm going to import requests, and now I'm going to do result is equal to requests.get. The URL of our web server is this, and we are just replicating a request that will in the future be made by this MetaTrader 5 trading bot, right? So the MetaTrader 5 trading bot will ask our Python server, please give me the high and low for this OHLC dataset. The server will return that, and then it will draw an indicator on the MT5 chart, right? This is the project, and so this is the URL. Then I have to specify the parameters. So the parameters is equal to uh, I'm providing OHLC, and then I will need to provide a list of values, I think, yes. So I will then, for example, say time. Now for time, I'm just going to add a number for now. Then I can do something like open, which is the open price is, let's say, 1. Then the high is, or let's just actually use 100, might be easier. The high is 105. Then the low, well, you know what, I'm just going to do a more structured data set. So OHLC data is equal to, and I'm just going to copy that so we can structure a bit nicer. So here we have the OHLC, which is a list, and then here and curly brackets again. So this is our OHLC data, which has a list of values. So this would be 95, and then close would be, for example, 98. So this is the first list value. I'm going to add this down here. And now for the second list of value, I can add a comma. And let's say that I want to create a new data set, with time is equal to 1, for example. And here we have open is 98, the high is 110, the low is 100, and here the close is 103. So this is OHLC dataset that consists of 2 candles, and if I add that here into parameters, now I can try to print result.text. And here in the app.py, I will just return some JSON, message For now, just message OK. And let's print OHLC if we get any data in our Python script. So now I stop and rerun this. And now I will also run this thing here. And it's not rex, but it should be res. And I made a mistake because now it returns home page, right? But I want to route it to get high low. This is what I want to do. So I'm going to route this request to get high low with these parameters. I'm going to run this now. Message here is okay. And here, when I print OHLC, it prints time, right? The argument is time. So I think there's a problem with the data set because I want to print everything here. So yeah, I'm going to go for a quick toilet break and then I'm going to yeah, come back and try to work on it. So yeah, be right back, guys. All right, I'm back now. And so I was thinking, so when I pass in OHC data, it prints time, right? But I want to print this entire dictionary with OHC data that I can then convert to a data frame and then, you know, return the high and low values for this data set. So okay, so now again I need to check on Google how to do that. So uh, Python requests at or Python flask read all flask show all params. So I think, yeah, this should be fine. So request.args.get language. So it's all request.args.get is the best way to do it. So get high low, the parameters is OHLC data. Oh, I think I found the problem. Or never mind, I haven't. Or maybe it's Python flask get list get params as list of query params flask request.args. Oh, it's get list that I was probably looking for. So it's get list. So let's rerun my app. We don't need this anymore, and run this one again. And now we get time open high low close, time open high low close. So we are getting, yeah, so maybe I can just skip providing the dictionary values. No, I don't. So it's a list of lists basically. So let me change the structure of this, and we're going to provide a list of lists for my indicator like this. And so I'm going to create a list of lists with the values. Let me delete that. Let me add this. Let me delete that again. Actually, we don't need this. Okay. And here, let's close this one here. So now we're creating a list of lists. So this is the time, which is the first one. It's 1. We're opening at, let's say, 98. The high is like 112. This is 103. And the closing price is, oh, the low must be below the open, 95 or 96. And the close is at 105, let's say. So maybe that could work. And like we get the entire list here. So I either need a list of dictionaries or list of lists. So maybe I could try JSON, like maybe try to pass in a JSON file like that. Because with parameters, you add parameters like in basically in this query tab, right? So data is request.getJSON. But then I'm asking myself, like, yeah, how do I send JSON in MKIL5? But I think there's a way. So first, let's just get this working. So OHLC is request.getJSON, or basically just data is request.getJSON. I rerun this, and then oh, and this seems to work. So now what I can do is I can undo my list changes and just keep it as a list of dictionaries, and now hopefully that could work. Unsupport media type did not attempt to load JSON data because request type was not application JSON. So this is apparently not a valid JSON input. Okay, that doesn't work either. Requests JSON get list. So this is the payload. Oh, no, I forgot to do that. And yeah, so now we look down here and we see that the OHLC data that I have here has been like successfully read by this file here. So now our data frame df is equal pd.dataframe and passing data. So import pandas as pd. Now we print the df, and then the resistance that I want to compute would be the df high dot max. So I'm returning maximum value, and then the support would be df low, and then we would take the minimum value. So I will rerun that. Let me try to send this request again, and oh, and I need to take the OHLC data. So I need to take the OHLC data set. I restart again, and now I run this. Object of type N64 is not JSON serializable. Okay, so here our pandas data frame is showing this. So we see that it is working. So we are returning the maximum high value and then the minimum low value. But then the return is not being supported. So let's see the issue. So the thing is, oh, it's in 64, so I think I need to convert it to a basic Python data type, because we're still working with objects, so maybe that could work. That's again an assumption. And everything's great. So here we return resistance and support for this data set that we have provided. And yeah, I think that is great. So now that we're able to send an HTTP request to our server with get high and low and so on, we can try to create a web request in MQL5, and after we do that, we might be able to draw these support and resistance level on this chart. So this is the the idea right now. Okay, so now I need an example of MQL5 web request. So MQL5 web request is right here. So now I'm just going to check oh yeah, check MQL5 here, and here we can see some code samples. So web request, we need to do a get, then they need a URL, cookie, null, and so on. And I think before we make an expert advisor, I'm actually going to create a script. So I think what I can also do is I can create a new folder. I'm going to create a folder called ATJ, where I'm going to put all my ATJ files right there. And also, my price action recognition will go into that folder. So I'm going to move that file into ATJ. And here I'm going to create a new script. So I'm going to script, and then I'm going to call this export OHLC to web server script. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So a script basically is a file that I'm going to again copy this to ATJ. A script basically a file that when you turn on, it will just run once, and that's basically it. So with the script, I will try to create a web request that is able to send a request to my web server that I've just created, and then try to export OHLC data, and after that it will evaluate the highs and lows, and then draw the result on my MT5 chart down here. So that is the plan, and let's see if it works. So I have my web request code here, and then I also want to print the result of the web request. And so here we have the web request. This is the result. Here, if results 200, I want to then read the output of that result. And then, yeah, we can read the output, like as you can see here. If you look here, yeah, we have the support and the resistance that is then being, returned. Or when we look at the app, look at homepage, it will read homepage. So first, let's just try to work with the homepage, right? It should return homepage ideally. So when we click on this web server, we want to know that we're able to communicate with our server, and it will return homepage. So here our URL is this. So it's HTTP. So it's HTTP 127.0.0.1.0.0.1 port 5005. So this is our HTTP. And then we see there's cookie, post, result headers, which are not yet defined. Oh, of course, I need to save all of the files that I have here. And this is in script, so I don't need this. I don't need to save this because I have that here already. And I have this here already as well. Oh, I don't need to save this either because I made a copy. So this is done, this is done. I compile this. And as you can see, result, headers, and so on are not yet defined. And that's why we need to check the documentation again how web request works. And so here we are declaring cookie to null and then headers, which is empty. And here we have like setting simple requests of type key value using content header application x form URL encoded. And then this is specifying custom set of headers for more flexible interaction with various web services. So I think I might work with this. And as I said, I like to work with application.json as my main, form of communication with the web servers. So yeah, this is gonna be also, a bit difficult, but I think we'll manage. So I think the best thing we can do is, maybe find some documentation online or some forum where some other guys have already performed that. So we will do MT5 web request, and we will do some application JSON example. And maybe someone will assist with that. The MQL code is very simple. The only question is why response with content text HTML char set and so on doesn't work. So if we accept JSON only, these are the headers. This is the data and so on. So I'm going to copy this code and hopefully that will help. So here with the web request, I will declare some initial variables. And then here we are calling web request. Here we will get the last error if there's any. And let's try that. So our URL for our script is here, and I'm just going to replace this with this. And then last thing I want is the response code is the output, and then the response headers. Oh, so when we call web request, all the data will be saved in these variables here. So actually then all I need to do, I think the better thing to do is just copy also this web request line here. Or I can just, get this entire thing here. So this is my web request. And now I'm going to compile this. No error. Now we go to our MT5. Let's refresh my folders, and somewhere I should find my ATJ folder, hopefully. Okay, I think we have a problem here because I put the ATJ folder above everything else. So here I'm going to put my ATJ folder inside the experts right here. So now if I refresh this, hopefully I will find the ATJ folder inside, and that's it. So here we have our export OHLC to web server, and this is my script. I think that's work like that actually. So because I also can't see, okay, let me compile all of that and compile this, refresh this, and hopefully I'll find everything I need. Because as you can see, my PI recognition cannot be found in that folder either. So probably anything that's an expert advisor should stay in the advisors folder, I assume. So but yeah, this seems to work as well. I think the best thing I can do is maybe just restart the platform. Hopefully that would reinitialize everything I need. And let's try again. Okay, yeah, so I see that the restart worked, and let's run the script. So here I ran the script, here we ran headers, and response is -1. Error is 4014. Let me also disable, we're removing this. So response code -1, error 4014. Let's check my server here, and it seems that the request went through. It went through right here, actually right here. So this was called, but my script was not able to. Let's see what the error actually means. So we copy that, and then we go to MT5 to check what we can get. Well, actually, I was accepting this content type in the end, so maybe that might have been the issue. So we'll just return text in this case, and I think that should be fine. So I will open my IDE again, and let's see if that works. So let's go back to ATJ folder. This is where I export this, and here, these are the headers. We compile this. Let's refresh. Okay, and now, yeah, it seems that we still have an error. So I'm going to check this again. So here, this is the header content type application XW form URL encoded. Okay, there's a timeout, data size, result headers, method is get, URL cookie. What I'm going to do instead is I need to check which yeah, application JSON. So I think the best thing I can do is so I go to the headers, I go back here, and I need to return a JSON. So here I will try to return message OK, and let's see if that does something. So if I run this script again, let's see what we get. So I compile, we're accepting application JSON. I'm refreshing, and now go back to OHS server. We're still getting the same error. So let's do MQL5, and let's try to see what this error might represent. Oh, and this guy has a very similar problem, because here he says that he has been developing a Python app with MT5, and he said network functions again. If you call okay, anything other than script or EA, but we are actually using a script, right? So that thing right there is a script, and we are still failing with 414. Connection address should be added to list of allowed ones. Oh, okay. So maybe the problem is that if we go to settings and we go to expert advisors, we need to add the web request to URLs that we want to connect to. So here I'm going to add our URL that we are going to work with, and the URL is this one. So hopefully that might help us. And this is localhost development server. Okay, it seems that it is working now. So here we can see that the response code is 200, which means that the web request was successful. And so now what I need to do is I just need to print our response body, because in the body or the data, I'm not sure, data, let's try the body, we have the result of our response. So if I run this again, I refresh, and oh yeah, invalid array accessed. So this is an array, so actually I should do print array, or array print is a function, and then I will print response body. So maybe that should work, and we add a semicolon. So now let's try to refresh our script and do that. Oh, and here the response body is 193.34 if I'm mistaken. So these are probably some random bytes. That's strange. So what if I just write homepage instead of doing that? And so if I run the script again, so that is very strange. So I'm getting, at least I'm getting some response, so this is good. But for some reason I am still getting some random numbers, and so yeah, we'll have to look at that. So your web request, Okay, here is some link with an example, and maybe that will help us. This is JSON serialization and deserialization library for MetaTrader 5. That is kind of cool, so someone wrote that. But maybe I should not use JSON in MQ5. Maybe I can just create, very simple text messages. So that, for example, could help me. Okay, so instead of normal headers, I'm just going to send some messages. So in web request, I'm going to simplify the way I send requests. So MQL5 web request. So instead of JSON, I'm just going to write a much simpler one. So in web request, I'm going to copy this in here. Okay, so instead, I'm going to use this. The URL I will set to this. No, I don't need this. And so now I will use array print. My result of my code. So let's compile this. Oh, semicolon, of course. Let's compile. And now we check the MetaTrader 5. We refresh and add this here. Again, we're getting some random numbers. Because we're returning home page from home. And okay, maybe let's do this again. So this is a get request, URL cookie post result. And let me view the output of this. MQ5 convert bytes to string. Also, maybe these numbers, they represent the word. So if I do home, HOME, PAGE. So if I do add homepage 1 to 3 and refresh this, and now I run the script again, maybe what will happen is I will get more numbers as a result. And so basically, if that's the case, then I know that I have to convert these numbers into a string. So yeah, so I did 1, 2, 3, and actually I think that I figured it out. And unfortunately, documentation doesn't help me that much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to check what these numbers represent. and we are converting decimal to text. So MQL5 decimal to text. So this is character array to string. So I shouldn't. So maybe if I do this, we compile this. I'm looking something like array to string, something like that. MQL5 web request returns numbers. So we're working with the result. So this is char array to string. This is a conversion function. It copies and converts part of array of ucar type into a return string. So string request result is equal to this, and then I can print the request result, and maybe that solves my problems. Seems like this is working. We refresh. Now we run this, and we get a result homepage 1, 2, 3. So this is amazing, guys. So yeah, I was struggling a bit, because now I can actually send data from MQL5 to my Python server, and I can then define the minimum and the maximum. So yeah, so these things here, they were actually quite annoying. So this is part of MQL5, so I have to call character array to string before I can actually work with it. In Python, it'll be much easier, right? And so now what I can try doing is I can try to send a list of OHSC data from from this script here. So I need to get the OHSC data set, send them to my Python server, then return the resistance support, and after that, I can then draw the support and resistance line on my chart. Yeah, so that has been, quite a bit stressful, but at least we got there. So I think, yeah, I'm going to take a very short break and then try to at least finish the last part, and that is to export the OHSC dataset. Juan, I need to drop off. Thank you for a nice session. Very interesting. I'll finish watching tomorrow. Bye, guys. Bye, Juan. Thank you for coming to the stream. Right, so create an indicator. Yeah, it was a bit painful, but at least, yeah, we got somewhere. Pardon. Okay. So now what we need to do is MQL5 retrieve OHLC data. So here, this guy, we need copy rates. So yeah, so what we're doing here is we need to create a second script to copy the rates. So I'm going to create a new file. So here, new file, we're creating a script and we're calling it copy rates. And in this script, we're going to, test how we are going to export the OHSC dataset. And so what we do here is we do so I'm going to open MQL5 copy rates. So copy rates will return based on a symbol name, time frame, starting position, and count, and it will need the object MQL rates, which will then contain an array of rates. So I guess we need to do MQL rates. MQL rates is equal to rates, and now to get the historical data set from MT5, the next thing I need to do is to call copy rates. So I will copy rates, and with copy rates I need to provide the symbol, then I need to check out to get the current time frame. So MQL5 get current time frame. This one returns the period of the current time frame. It's kind of interesting because the MQL5 documentation is kind of lacking. Like when I write MQL5 get current time frame, it is very difficult to find the correct answer, right? So I feel like MQL5 when it comes to documentation, it's not very nice. But if you like look very deeply into the documentation, right, you might find it. So you'd have to go to checkup, and in checkup you'd go to period, and this returns the current chart time frame. So this is actually what we're looking for. So here we get the period, and then the start position. I want to get the position, from 1, and then let's say I want to get the last 20 candles, and then I will save the data inside of rates, and then we will do character array, or we don't need that actually. So we will then call array print rates, and that is basically it. So I forgot semicolons again, I'm going to compile this. And now copy rates. Because I've copied it, I have to go here. I will put it here. So this one I will copy. This one I don't need to copy. And so I'm going to compile this. Rates is an array. So I'm going to compile this. Rates undeclare identify variable expected. So is that how we do it? No. Let's have a look at MT5 again. Check the documentation. Okay, this is it. So we go down here. So MQL rates. Oh, I don't have to do equal. I don't have to declare anything like this. So I have to do like this. I don't know why, but probably it works like that. And then when you call copy rates, and let's check the documentation again. So when we copy rates, so they want us array set a series. Again, don't understand it, but let's try it. Now compile. Parameter conversion not allowed. So back to documentation. So copy rates. So we take the symbol. Oh, they're using 0. Maybe 0 stands for current time frame or a current chart. So it's symbol, time frame, starting position, number of bars, and then getting the rates. And copied is equal to this. Actually, I think the easiest thing would be just to copy the entire void start function and see if that works. So we void on start, we compile that works. Now we refresh again, we have the copy rates, and here we see that we have copied the rates from DE40 for the current time. And so now if I add another chart and add copy rates to this chart or back to D40, so we are exporting for D40, and here we're exporting for the Canadian Swiss. So here it seems to work. So we are exporting data for the current symbol and the current time frame. So maybe if I write period, that could also work. So I think if period is 0, it will work very similarly. So it copies 100 bars for that period. And now that I'm actually able to get the data, I can try to create a web request where I send the data to my Python server. So guys, I'm going to take another break, right? So I'll be back in 3 minutes. And yeah, let's try to finish this MT5 indicator. Yeah, this is, I think, the most stressful part of it. But once we're able to send data back and forth with the OHLC data and then create these lines here, I think that will be a very big breakthrough for us, because then we can draw trend lines, draw horizontal lines, and our life will be much easier eventually. So hopefully we'll be done with that this week. And yeah, so be right back in a few minutes. Thank you. All right, so I'm back now. Let's try to finish this last Oasis candle. I'm getting a bit tired. Yeah, from learning, you can't learn everything in a single day, right? And I'm getting a little bit tired from the MQL5 documentation. I wish I would be better at that, but the more I do it, I think the better it will be. So yeah, let's not worry too much about that. So now that we're able to export the OHS data, let's see what this code block is doing. So it is able to copy some bars, and then yeah, this is the format of our string, and then it takes the rates with a certain index, and then it's all printed at time, open, high, low, close. So what I can do actually is I can just take the text files here, right, and I can send all of that data as a single string. So I don't work with JSON file. I just send it as a single string. My Python server will then read that string, and that's basically it. So let's say I want to take the past 20 candles to analyze the OHSC data. So now what I'm going to do, like, instead of, so here's the while loop. Actually, I'm just going to, here's the format. Okay, so I think I have a rough idea how I can do it. So rates is basically an array where I have all the data that I'm going to use. So I'm going to start with closed candles only. So our price action analysis pattern will only work with closed patterns. And so here we have the closed pattern, which is 1. And I'm getting the past 20 candles. So in this for loop, let me remove copied. We're just gonna use this pure for loop right here, and so this is the on start bracket. Maybe we'll need another. Okay, here's no bracket. This is on start bracket. This is the loop bracket. Here we have the time and open, high, low, close. So we need time to string. So I'm going to do string time is equal to time to string with the current index time. Then string open is double to string rates I open, and then I'm going to do that for open, high, low, close. Open, high, low, close. I don't need tick volume for now. I just need to declare these variables. So here I'm gonna add a semicolon, and just to make sure that this code is working, I'm going to print time open, high, low, close. So to make sure that the script is working, I'm going to add time open, high, low, and close. So let me compile that, forget a semicolon. So I'm compiling that. Size undeclared variable. I think I deleted something that I actually needed, and here the size. Alright, so I need to also declare the variable size for this. So we compile that, and now I'm going to run this copy rates function again. So now I see that I am copying the time, open, high, low, close, and so on. So now what we're going to do is that I'm going to create a data string. So string data string is equal to so I'm going to create like a list that I'm going to later convert, or I can actually create a JSON file now. So a JSON file starts, actually I think that I can create something like a string format. So MQL5 string format, and string format or I can make like a CSV. I can actually create a CSV format, I think. Yeah, CSV format doesn't sound that bad. So we would have time plus open plus I wish like MQL5 there was maybe like an easier way to do this. So, but this is currently the only way I know how to do it. So time open high this time plus this plus high plus another comma plus low plus another comma plus close, and now we just add a new line. So plus n like that, and here we are creating a CSV format. So what I can do up here is I can also declare is the CSV data is equal is right now empty, so this is going to be a simple string. So string CSV data, and here CSV data is equal to the current CSV data plus the new data string that we have here. I don't know if that works because I have CSV data on the left and the right side. In Python, of course, it is possible. But again, MQL5, it might be a little different. So name expected. All right, so here instead of comma, I should add a plus. So we compile now, and maybe I'm just going to do. Okay, and when this loop is over, so I need the print here, I'm just going to print the entire data set as a whole that I'm going to then send to my Flask server. and again semicolon is somewhere expected, so, and the semicolon is actually here. Let me just add it into a bracket so I can make sure. So string data string is time plus this plus open plus this plus, we forgot a plus here. So let's press compile, and here the CSV data. After this loop is over, we can then run this here. Okay, so now we copy the rates, and we see that yeah, that all of the data is actually in a single line. So it seems that this is working. So I can actually write like that. So now our last step is to go to price action recognition MQ5, and yeah, finish that. So I'm going to define a function. So I'm going to create a void function in PA recognition. So here we have a Boolean function to create a line. Here I'm going to create a void function, void get rates, get rates, and get rates is, yeah, it's just a void function, and here I'm going to add the logic of copy rates, and copy rates will take oh, this is the on start block. So here in get rates, get rates CSV, I'm going to just press CSV data, and here I'm going to create also a function parameter int num candles, and this was just specify how many candles I want to have to get my rates. So here I'm getting the number of candles as a parameter, which I'm then providing here. And okay, so here after that, or actually the function will return a string because I want to return the CSV data. So I'm returning CSV data as the output of my function. So we return this. I compile this. Somewhere a semicolon is expected, and because this is because we return here, now I can compile, and here we have this function that is able to draw a high and a low. And let me also try to look at the CSV data here. So so here candle data CSV, which is a string, so I'm declaring a variable again. So string candle data CSV is equal to, let me now specify or just actually call the function getRatesCSV, and getRatesCSV needs some number of candles that I want to analyze, and actually I can actually use it as input. input, it's an integer, and it's going here. We can input how many candles we want to use for the price action analysis. So by saying input int number of candles, and I can like specify like a default number of candles, and let's say I just say I want 14 candles, but we can also, you know, edit that when we create the, you know, when we call the expert advisor to MT5. So here I'm adding the number of candles, and here I have my function, you know, where I am actually sending URL request. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this block here, and I'm going to add another function, and that function is I'm going to call this, it's another like a function written in a string, because yeah, the output of that function string, we're calling a request to our Python web server, and the output is text. So send data to Python server. That's the name of the function. Here we have the string CSV data that we are going to provide, and then here in those curly brackets we are going to add the logic of our code again, and after that we return the response. So request result is this response here. Now if I compile this, hi Zach, Dabby, I'm back. How are we doing? Well, pretty good and pretty bad. So as you can see, I'm coding in MQL5, and I'm not very good at MQL5. I am good at Python, but not MQL5. And I'm currently doing this MQL5 indicator. So I'm doing price action analysis in Python, and I'm using MQL5 to, you know, real-time draw these horizontal lines, so we can have some price action analysis directly in the MetaTrader 5 platform. So right now I'm the last steps of exporting the data from MT5 to Python, and I think, you know, very soon I should be done, you know, with that. So if you're interested in you know, current project I'm working on, I shared my project here, and hopefully it will be done very soon, but we still have a long way to go, I believe. Okay, so send data to Python server, input is string, output is another string, and we can call this down here. So so we can call another string here. So string PA analysis is equal to, so this is basically our analysis that we will be receiving from our Python server, and we are inputting our CSV data, and then I would like to print PA analysis. So I think the best thing to do right now is, instead of like doing an EA, I'm going to create a script that is going to do that. So here in this version, so instead of on timer, I will just do a simple on start, and with on start it will just run once, and so I'm going to remove init, and then I'm going to rename this. So I'm going to rename this to PA analysis test. So I don't need this anymore. Oh, maybe I just screwed up, because PA analysis test should have been here. So again, this should be on start. We remove this. We remove the init section, and so hopefully that will help us. Okay, so let's run this and we'll see what we'll get. So here, let's refresh, and I think I need to restart my platform again because I made many changes. And so now PA analysis test, we compile this. We still have errors. So here I left a colon. Let me compile it again. Now it works. PA analysis test has been compiled. It has created two objects, and then it has sent a request to my Python server. So far, so good. And now, what I need to check is, so my PA analysis test is able to, send an HTTP request in the send data to Python server, and I need to, specify some payload. So here in post, I think I can provide, some text, or I can provide this as a parameter in the URL. This is also possible. So what I'm going to do now is I need to check out documentation. MQL5 add payload in get web request. Isaac, very cool. Same here. I've never used MQL5, but just use Python. MQL5 is very fast though. Are the horizontal lines for break of market structure? Yes, that's correct. So my plan is to, export the candlesticks to the Python server, and the Python server will mark some, support resistance zones. So for example, for this example, when you see, for example, like a double bottom, so as you can see, this is a double bottom, we would, for example, mark this as a support level, and then hopefully we would use MQL5 to identify this break of support and then enter short, maybe on candle close, for example. So this is the idea. So we're using Python for signal generation, and MT5 for indicator drawing and execution, which I think is like, a better utilization of the program languages. So hopefully we'll be done very soon. Right now I'm the last step where I need to, provide the connection between MT5 and the price action. Right now I was able to retrieve OHLC data in MT5, and I was able to create a Python server to analyze, the support and resistance zones. So the last step is now just, the communication line, and then the logic, implementing the execution on the MT5 side. But for now, I'm just planning to make an indicator, because it can also be used for manual trading, for example. I think that's what it's good for. And yeah, and now I'm stuck with, as you can see, with the web request where I want to, post some data. And one way to do it is I can provide it in the URL as a parameter. Or I can use post. So I think adding the OHS data in the parameter might actually be the best thing, because then I can just provide the data as part of the URL string. even though it might be long. So in post, we are basically sending so MQL5 string to car array. Oh, that works. So maybe we can convert our string, our CSV data that we have here, into a car array, and that character array will be part of the post, payload that we're going to send to our server. So I'm going to try to do that. So so our post data, which are a list of characters, is equal to string to character array, and here we're adding the CSV data as the input, and we're passing that into our get request, and maybe we will be able to find something. Let me compile that. And that doesn't work. Wrong parameters count. Oh, so what it's doing actually is that I have to add a string here, and then the array, because this is returning just an integer with the result, so the output of it is not the array. So I'm going to add the declaration of the variable down here, and then I'm going to before web request, I'm going to set the post variable down here. So this is CSV data, and the character array is post here. So I can try to compile this. Now I need a semicolon again. This worked. And so let me try to refresh this again. And here's the price action analysis test. Okay, so here I'm also going to print our data is request .args.get, or flask request read payload. Okay, maybe just request of data might help us. And then we're going to print data. Isaac, the same workflow could also be used with different backend too. I would say that using Python for that may run into some issue, as I think you're using the on-time function for every second. Yes, that's true. So yes, so Python may take longer than 1 second to process data if it's not async. Yes, that is true. So I believe that I haven't fixed that issue yet, and so I'm thinking how we could do that. Like currently my strategies are not like sensitive to like ultra, high frequency trading. So when we are just generating the signal for a specific time, I think we could basically just do a synchronous script that is just waiting for, request response, and and then eventually, if we want to do something asynchronously, yeah, that would require a lot more work. But yeah, as you said, we get to it when you get to it. For now, like separating, the signal generation from the execution, we will be able to maybe in the future, have multiple brokers or multiple trading platforms working with the same Python server, right? So with Python, all we do is do some data processing, and we'll just return if we should buy or sell, or if we, should draw certain, indicators. And for now, I'm just working on the indicator part because I think that's easier. And people who are using, MT5 and want to, deploy the indicator on their own platform, that they can use that for their own manual trading. And once we get to, the actual automation of the execution, that would work. And Flask by default would be async. Right. So right now, I'm getting a little bit tired, right, from all that coding today. But yeah, there's, as you say, so much work to do. All I want to finish today is just, right now I'm putting the OHS data into a payload because MQL5 is such low level. I'm converting my string into a character array, and I'm calling web request, and I'm hoping that I can somehow retrieve the character array in Flask. So if I refresh this, so now I'm actually hoping that I can retrieve that character array. So here I see that I have sent the request to my Python server. And here, so yeah, here I have a function send data to Python server where I'm getting my CSV data. The CSV data, where is it? Yeah, here I have a post array where I'm, providing the data to my get request, and I'm hoping that I can find a payload in my Python server. And luckily I just did, which is amazing. Yeah, that's great. So I am kind of shocked now that it actually worked. So now I need to convert this byte array to string. So convert bytes to string in Python. Oh, we just use decode to UTF-8. That is very helpful. So I now refresh this. Now I rerun the script. And this is the string. So here we have the time. Then we have the open, high, low, and close, and then another time. So the last thing I need to fix is the format of the data that I'm providing to my Python server. And to do that, I think first I need to array print. I'm going to array print my payload. Let's compile that again. As usual, semicolon. I always forget it when I'm not in Python. Export the price analysis action test here. Okay, here I see that I am printing my arrays. So this is great. And I think I was able to find the issue. So what we're doing here is we're printing some byte arrays, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with around 20 because I'm actually exporting 20 candles. Here, yeah, I have my while loop that I'm using here, and here this is the array print that I am using here. Okay, string 2. Okay. So now this is interesting. So I have all these character arrays here, but the format that I'm getting here is not quite the way I wanted, to look in Python. So I think either I need to do some modifications on the script side, or I need to do some modifications on here. But I guess I'll just take a quick break, and we'll see how we proceed. So for now, yeah. So just give me like 5 minutes, and I'll be back. And I'll try to finish it. So thank you for your patience, guys, and yeah, I'll be right back. All right, we're back for the break. So, I really don't know, like the issue with the formatting, but when I look at the format here, right? So we are converting this into this somehow. So all the data that we need is in fact there, and this line here, I'm not sure what it is, but we'll manage somehow. Okay, I see that we have dots here. So for some reason, we are converting these things to dots. So 2024, 1023, 21, 25, and then suddenly we have these weird numbers here. We check again 2024, 23, 21. So let me see what I'm actually doing in the script here. So here, send data to Python server. What we have is we take our CSV data and then we save this string into an array of characters, right? It is way more complicated in Python. It's crazy. Like I don't know anyone who wants to be a MQL5 developer, but if you guys want a job, you can learn MQL5 and then freelance on the marketplace. But if I had to choose, yeah, between Python and MQL5, I would just stay with Python. It's so much easier. And the worst part is like there is almost no one that can help you, right? Are you a pro and you know how to do it? Because when I check on Google, it's impossible to find answers on. That's why it's so stressful, right? So I just need to find the solution myself every single time, most of the time. And so you either give up coding MQL5 or you just stick with it, and then you'll become a wizard because you'll be the only person to know how to code MQL5. Because if you look at the function here, right, because what I did is I converted this into a CSV file. So I took the data. Maybe I should print the individual line so I can be certain what this thing is doing. Let's just use 5 candles because so we don't have too much data. Again, I forgot a semicolon as usual. Now I'm going to run this test. Okay. So when I print time plus everything else, we get time, then we get a dot here. So I think the problem is, how it's being printed in the first place. So I believe that the way I save the data here is the actual problem. Maybe comma, yeah, for some reason the comma is not visible, and it's kind of sad. So let's open the logs. Because the logs here, they have tabular data. So maybe I can try to create a workaround. Let's just add underscore. Let's see what happens. So I compile this. Now I run this again. No, it still prints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that format. And I wonder if I just comment this out. Like, this is a section where it's being printed, right? So if this is printed, then we shouldn't see any of that text anymore. And that's true. So I think the problem is, okay, it's double to string. We're converting doubles to string, and the data string is time plus this thing right here. Maybe I should use, I don't know, sometimes like in databases, if you code in like MySQL Postgre, using double quotation marks and single ones make a big difference. So I just want to make sure that this is not a problem. Okay. And so again, we refresh. And for some reason, I think it is the problem, because now the format is correct. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, how was I supposed to know I should use doubles in quotation marks? I mean, I could have found out by going to documentation and reading everything from scratch, and I don't have time for that. So now I just guessed. But so now if we check this, look at that. It's crazy. We have everything we need. So that's kind of crazy. And yeah, so now what we can do, and now that we have the text, we can convert this data set into a data frame or like a CSV format, and then yeah, we can continue working on that. And here there is some weird icon at the end, so I think I can skip that, the last character. I think it's just the ending sequence. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to skip the last character. Now I'm going to run this file again. I don't need to print the things anymore because luckily I'm done with this part. So I'm done with this. I don't need to print. Oh yeah, this I can keep. I can keep this. I don't need to print the array anymore. So this is done. JPI brother, what do you mean? I'm not from Japan. But I did trade the GBP JPY, so that's what we have in common, maybe. Okay. So I skipped the last character that for some reason was there. So my data frame df is equal to pandas.dataframe, or like pd.read CSV. Now we provide data. Now we print the data frame. Let's run this again. Let's run this again. The server encountered an error, and that is because pandas read CSV as string. Or actually, I don't need to create CSV, I can just split the text. So this is the data, right? So data is equal to data dot split we split the new line. So we are basically creating a list of lists, or I can do a list comprehension. So row for row in so data list is equal to row for row in data dot split. We're splitting the new line. I'm just changing to my American keyboard. I like to use British keyboard because I'm used to that, but it's missing this backslash button. So, and then we're splitting the row for each comma. And actually I can use the data list now. And yeah, let's try this again. So now we add the price analysis test. Let's see what error we have now. Okay, so now we have a list of lists here. So this is a list. Again, you can try like that. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we have a problem, and it's that, oh, I was still using read CSV, but it's just creating data frame. And now it seems to be working. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So columns is equal to time open, high, low, and close. And so let's run the script again. Oh, now we've created data frame. This is amazing. And then I can return a string. I will return the maximum and minimum value. So I can use it as df high dot as type string. Well, first, I just used the maximum. I return the string value in Python. Then I just add a comma to separate it, and then I'm going to return the minimum value. So I'm going to print this value. Now I'm going to run this script again. We see that this now works, and so when we look at the result, we have the high, the maximum, and then the min value. So now the last step for me is to take that value, split it into two types. So how would I do that? So now we have a string that we want to split. String split. Love it. And then get substring by space separator. String split, string value, separator, result. And the result is a list, is an array. So here I will need to do what is it again? So the string result, so it's string sr values and sr values is equal to string split. I need the string value, which is this. Then I need the separator, double quotation marks, remember, which is a comma. And now I need to save the result here. And then I need to array print my SR values. So I compile that. I add a semicolon. Array print some operator expected. I also need to add a separator. I think this time for buy-in. Yeah, could be. Let's see what the UJ looks like on the daily chart. Well, we see that we are in a very nice uptrend. Like that is true, yes. And today we have a very strong up, straight to the upside. But yeah, currently I'm interested more in finishing this code, so sorry about that. So I split that. Now we run the script again. And here we have our values. So what I can do now is that, how did I do the sequence? So first the maximum, then the minimum. So resistance is a maximum. So string resistance, or it's actually double because I want to save it as a number. So double resistance, is equal to double resistance is equal to my SR value with the index 0, and then I'm going to convert it to double, so string to double is my first value. Oh, I'm splitting that below, so I need to add it below here. So resistance is this, and then our support is our second value. Our support is our second value, so then I'm just going to print support and then my resistance and support here. So let's see if that helps. I compile, an error semicolon forgotten. We compile. Array out of range in p-analysis test. So I have to compile this again. I forgot this. Invalid array access. Compile this. So that is actually very unfortunate because here we are printing the result, but my splitting is actually not working quite yet. So what is going on here? So here send data to Python server is working, but somewhere I am printing the values, the highs and lows. So if I compile this again and I run peer recognition, I mean the test file first. So I'm creating the objects and then I'm retrieving the data, right? This is the support and resistance. As you can see, right, I've just called this URL path, but for some reason the array is out of range. So what it means is that printing SR values is causing the problem. So if I compile like this, invalid array access, so I would have to call array print, and then the other question is, where am I printing like this value here, right? Where is it coming from? Let me just in case refresh this, and yeah, check my ID again. So send data to Python server. Where are all my prints? First one, second one, array print SR values. Oh, here. I'm printing support and resistance here. So actually, if I remove this, oh no, let's remove this EA advisor and run the test again. We see that, yeah, this is great. So if I remove this And the question is, when I have scripts, do I have to return something with onStart? I think I forgot to. Oh, it's a void onStart, so I don't need to return anything. So that is working. I need to compile this again. Print support and resistance. Here we have the split string. By running this, now I don't get any values printed. So array out of range in p-analysis test MQ5. And so this part doesn't work. But if I use array print my SR values, then it does work. So this is the array that I'm actually printing. And so I need to go to MQL5 arrays and see what I can do there. So we have okay, let's just go to the documentation and we'll find something about arrays. So maybe the index of the array maybe in Python the index starts with 0, but in MQL5 maybe it starts with 1. So I start with 1 and 2, see what happens. Maybe that will solve the issue. Nope, it will not. Array out of range in p-analysis 129, 48. 129. Yeah. So let's print the support and resistance values. I'm going to compile this again. Add a separator here. Analysis test. And yeah, line 129 again has an issue with this. So the question is, how do I get that array value? And here's an article, array print, get the array. All right. And the thing is, we're saving it as a string. So this string is an array of values. So array print does this. So again, this is very confusing again. So MQL5 use array value. Okay, we have variables, and then we have arrays. So array print seems to work, right? So because we have the value here, so we have the support and resistance, but I still need to find a way to take this value, the first and second value, and yeah, save them to draw them on the MT5 chart. Okay, I think I should check the size of the array. So I'm going to print the size of the array to see what could happen here. So again, the size of the array is 1. And I guess this is what we're actually doing with MQL rates, but in rates, yeah. maybe we should have a look at string split. So here MQL5 string split, maybe I should have just copied this part from the beginning. So yeah, I think that should have been done from the beginning. So in K, we are saving the string split output return value into the integer K, and then we're looping this is the result. Compile this, unbalanced parentheses, and right, and we need to close this also here. Let's compile this. Let's run this again, and these are the results. So here, this is the integer, this is the SR values I, and so here we start with I is equal to 0. We're using print format. Result. Oh, I see now. So the problem is that we try to split the comma, but the output is just a single value. As you can see, right, the 0 here, this is a single value, and so therefore that is a problem. So string split doesn't work in our case, even though we've tried to try to fix that somehow. So so that is very unfortunate. So that seems to be the root of the issue. And so now the question is, how do we work with string split? So we know that separator is a comma, right? So here in string split, we have to provide a string that we want to split, then the separator, and then the result. And here, what we have is we have the PA analysis, and it returns this value. This is a string, right? This is a string, and we're trying to split it with this comma here, and it doesn't work. And then we have SR values. So when we do the array print, we see that the array returns just one value, one single value, and not a list. And that is the unfortunate thing. And right now I don't know how to fix this, so I still have to look into it. Because as you can see, it is splitting the first one here, and then it's done, and it's printing the second one, and then suddenly it jumps into issue because it cannot convert like this comma here into two separate values. So let me just try to do one more thing. So string to split. This is the string to split. This is the string that I'm trying to split. And this is the comma that I'm trying to split. I know the comma is exactly this comma that I'm returning. And then it still returns only one value. So just to test it, string is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, and here I know that it actually starts with 0 and then ends with 1. I can try to compile this variable already defined, so actually I can just try to overwrite the value. Now I can do p analysis test. So I have 1, 2, 3. This is my string split. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I have array print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Line 129, 132 has a problem. Oh, and this is type ushort, not string. Is that a problem? Oh my god, maybe it is a problem. The data type. I hate MT5. So it's ushort. Crazy. So where's the separator again? Oh no. It's because I didn't copy the code. I did declare the correct data type and now I am paying for half an hour of pain. But so let's try. So it's ushort, PA analysis test. So string to split, ushort. There are actually two types of separators. So here's a string get character. Oh, so there is the separator, which is a string. That's why I should have just copied the documentation. So this is the ushort, and this is the string is equal to string separator is equal to the comma, and then I need to copy usep is equal to, call this function, and then I need to call string split, which is a p analysis usep and SR values, and then the things should work, hopefully. I'm missing an equal sign, compile. Now I run the test again, and guys, it's working. Finally it is working. So now the last step is to put it into our trading bot, or actually the EA. Put this code block into the EA, copy all the function that I've created, and I guess we should be done, hopefully. So here we have some initialize functions, so I'm just going to copy that here. We have input int, we compile this one, and now we can try to deploy it on our chart, and that should update with every tick, so that's actually dangerous. Oh no, it's on timer, so it updates every 5 seconds, so that should be fine actually. Almost got scared. So this is our expert advisor. This expert advisor has an on timer function that will create horizontal lines. So actually I can remove this chart and like make a new one so we can see. So let's go on the M5 chart, and yeah, so here price action recognition, let's enable that. Hopefully we'll create some horizontal lines. So now we do, and here we have our web server that will receive a call every 5 seconds to update the highs and then the lows for a certain period, and the period is 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, and yeah, before we finish, of course, we need to provide the prices. So now instead of drawing some random lines, we can take this. So first we take the candle data, we ask our server, and once we're done with computing support and resistance, we can then provide this is the line 1, which is the resistance value, and then the support value, and let's say we can set the default to, I don't know, 20 candles. So we compile that. Now we open this script, and I believe that we should be done. So we refresh, we add the price action recognition, and if we check for the past 20 candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we see that we have a maximum here, as you can see, and then we have a minimum that is actually wrong. The minimum should be somewhere, I don't know, down here maybe. So now we still need to look for the problem. So this is the support level, and this is the resistance level. And we check the values in hline create. We have the chart ID, name, subnet, and the price. And the price, my chart, if we draw this, so let's go to experts, and so now we have a new value. So here we have 45, 6120 and 3787. And I know the problem, because the problem with this script is that I think that when I retrieve the candles, let's have a look at this. So 23rd, 2135, yes, for the current time frame. Or let's just go to the minute time frame. Maybe it could help. So now we are on the M1 time frame. And now we see that actually the time frame has changed, right? So the first candle is, 46, or actually now it's 48. 46.84. It's 46.84. Oh no, it's the open price. So when I print the data frame, I should just look at the high and the low price. Oh, and I should actually do it here. So it's time open, or just time high and low of the candle. So it's 47, 48.83 is the maximum value, 48.83, which isn't correct. Oh yeah, so this is the high value of this candle, and then we want to check the minimum value of the last 20 candles. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? So the low value should be somewhere around here, and we check 19341, 43, 40, 37. So I think, oh, and that is because our Python server returns the high and not the low. So this was my mistake. So now if we check the update values, so in 5 seconds it should update. The values should update. Hopefully we'll find update values. And now, yeah, finally we see that it is working. So this is the low value for our support. Whoops, that should update anyway soon with our script. And this is our high value, which is here. So at least, yeah, so this is great. So now we are actually able to control where to draw the support and resistance lines. So I think that is amazing. So guys, yeah, so it took me, how long am I streaming? It took me 3 hours and 46 minutes to do a stupid Python connector with MQL5. So MQL5, we are now able to, send data to Python, our Python server. Our Python server is now able to, send back the data. And with the data that we send back, we are able to generate this. We are able to generate horizontal line indicators that update real time. So thanks to that, yeah, we can use that, for our, next live stream. So we can apply, some more advanced price action pattern recognition. We can also, for example, add like a background so we can see, for which period we are actually computing this zone. And I think the worst part is done, right? The worst part is done because we just wanted, to create like some communication technology that is able to communicate with MT5 and Python. And as a result, we have this indicator now. So in our next session, we will, maybe add, some arrow icons. We can provide, some background, and then we can apply, some more sophisticated price action zones. Maybe, the double tops, double bottoms, the channels as we discussed, and display them on the MetaTrader 5 indicator chart. So, so today it was a bit stressful, but I'm very happy that in the end we did manage to, create like a working script that is able, to identify these zones. And, if you look at this, and for example, we see a breakout of this level, potentially that could be used, for our breakout trade. So, so yeah. So I think I'm just going to put this MQ5 file into our education library. So this might be useful in the future. So I'm just going to open this in the folder. So this is the source file, and there's the the compiled file. So I'm adding that into the price action analysis server. This is the MQ5, and I'm going to add that. So for today, I'm going to commit all these changes for today's stream. So it's 2024 October 23. So here I can commit and push that. Oh, this is my new user. So I just need to provide, some Git settings. And I'm gonna push this. So guys, you can check out all the code on my algorithm trading channel. So feel free to check it out. And may ask, well done, how are your bots performing so far? So currently, as you can see, on the dashboard, we have our Bitcoin trade open. So let me just give you a quick update. So here we are in a floating profit of 227 US dollars on BTCSD that we're still holding, for about a week. And here, this is my current history on the US Tech Trading Bot. So as you can see, uh, we have been actually in a very, rough spot because, we have been, experiencing some great losses. But so far, in total, the PNL is still in profit thanks to this Bitcoin trade. So if this Bitcoin trade will end up well, we will be in a profit at the end of this month. So we're hoping for that. And as I've mentioned, the breakout and price action trading bots is still in progress. So I think this is like our current big project. So I'm still like working on, this MT5 indicator, uh, to make it look nice on the stream, and so you guys can use the technology as well. So I'm hoping to have this done this month as well. And yeah, so far we're still hanging on. So guys, thank you for joining today's stream. I think I will be streaming again either tomorrow or on Friday. So I'll let you know. It will be around this time. I still need to finish, something for my personal projects. So I'll let you know, tomorrow latest. So again, thank you, and see you soon.